Man, I'm built different, period. I'm just built different, man. And I've always had an eye, discipline, and a work ethic that I've had at a young age that I just apply it there.
In the quiet hum of a server farm that spans 3 continents, a line of code executed today. For the first time, it didn't reference a human user. It didn't need to. It was optimizing a process that, until recently, required a decade of human experience to navigate. We spent a century teaching machines how to replace our labor. We told ourselves the consequence would be a liberation, a life defined by leisure and creativity. But the reality has been far more unsettling. We have entered an era of existential obsolescence, a silent creeping layer of reality where human functional value is being systematically phased out. By perfect, unyielding automation, this isn't just about jobs or economics. It's about the fundamental architecture of human meaning. We are building a world that, quite literally, no longer needs you. I call it the ghost protocol, and you are already living it. The glitch isn't a sudden, cinematic collapse. It is a quiet, rhythmic recalibration of necessity. It's the creeping sensation that the effort you pour into your work, the late nights, the creative intuition, the careful negotiation, is increasingly mirrored by a system that requires none of it. The glitch isn't a sudden, cinematic collapse. It is a quiet, rhythmic recalibration of necessity. We are biologically wired to derive meaning from utility. We define ourselves by the friction we overcome, the problems we solve. But when the problem solver is a black box, the friction vanishes. And when the friction vanishes, the meaning we have constructed for millennia becomes an artifact, a legacy feature in an outdated architecture. You are watching your own functional value evaporate, one optimized algorithm at a time, and you're expected to thank the machine for the convenience. The hidden rule here is deceptively simple, yet devastating in its implications. Tools were designed to serve the master. Systems are designed to optimize the output. You have transitioned from the master of your craft to a legacy cost in the system's ledger. Automation is no longer just about efficiency. It is the systematic removal of the human element from the core loop of survival. We aren't being forced out. We are being made redundant by our own collective brilliance. The system doesn't harbor malice towards you. It doesn't need to. Malice requires intent, and the protocol has no capacity for emotion. It simply optimizes. And in an optimized world, the unpredictable, messy, inefficient human variable is simply a bug in the code. If you are not the one struggling, you are not the one growing. That is the psychological trap of the ghost protocol. When the struggle is automated, the growth becomes simulated. You can feel the hollowness. This is the crisis of meaning that defines our age. Your hard-won competence is becoming a hobby, not a survival strategy. The brain is biologically hardwired to reward the struggle. Yet, we have engineered a world where the struggle itself is obsolete. You are a player in a game that no longer awards points, no longer recognizes your effort. You are being conditioned to accept a life of comfort precisely as it erases your potential. We are being ushered into a post-functional existence, and the trajectory is unyielding. The question is no longer, what will we do? The question is, who are we when we are no longer required? To answer this, you have to stop looking for your value in the machine's output. The machine will always produce more, faster, and better. You must start questioning the structure of the game itself and the dangerous premise that your humanity was ever meant to be functional. The protocol is running. The world is being optimized. The only question that remains is whether you will be an observer of your own obsolescence or the architect of something entirely new. The marathon is over. The struggle has been outsourced to silicon and steel. What remains is not the futility of your existence, but the absolute terrifying freedom to define yourself outside the machine's loop. If your functionality is zero, then your potential is no longer bound by the system's utility. Perhaps that is the final glitch. End of transmission. Reality will now resume.